there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Allison, and today I'm going to share with you my 7 uncommon tips to help with curbing mindless shopping. So this year in 2025, I am doing a low buy year. I will link some videos in the playlist on that down below in case you're curious. But a big part of being on a low buy journey is that you have to curb some of your mindless shopping. It's not as clean cut as just doing a no buy where you just don't shop, so you can just shut off that part of your brain and your habit. In a low buy, I'm really trying to build the habit of being able to shop with intention and making sure that I'm making conscious consumer choices. And having to build that habit. So if that is something that you are interested in, I hope that you will continue watching. I'm sure if you have been following along with the underconsumption trend that's going on social media right now, there's a lot of people with inflation and cost of living going up and up and up, trying to curb their shopping habits. For me, that is definitely something I am doing this year as well. And you've probably come across people saying unsubscribe to sales emails, unfollow influencers that are constantly tempting you to click on their affiliate links. And those are all really great habits, taking out your credit card from the Google browser so it doesn't just put your credit card right into the cart ready to shop, so you have to go and get your credit card. Those are all great things to do. But today we're going to go one step deeper, and I'm going to share with you some of the habits that have been really helping me be successful in my low buy year. So my first tip is what you measure gets managed. And this is something I have been really resistant of because it feels so tedious to do, to actually measure and track all of your spending. And so for me, I've been keeping it really simple with the Notes app. In my low buy video, I share with what my low buy budget is actually for. And so that's what I'm tracking. I'm tracking my low buy budget and our general spending for our home. We track that budget in a different way. But for me, with my low buy budget, I'm keeping it super simple and tracking it in my Notes app. But what I've seen just in the first months of this year is really seeing and looking at what I'm spending, and when I run out of my budget, can't shop anymore, or do I really want to spend $40 if my budget only has this much left. You really think about your shopping in a very different way than when you're just used to going through your day being I don't really shop that much, or I don't really, pick up little things that often. When you measure it and when you are actually managing it, you take a more critical eye on it. So that's my first step, is create a system that works for you. If it is a full-blown spreadsheet, more power to you. For me, a quick Notes app where I'm just keeping a monthly total is working really well for me. But that is something that I am super resistant to, and maybe you are as well, but it really has been making the difference in tracking my spending and seeing where my dollars are going. Tip number 2 is to take some time out of getting in the mindset of I'm never gonna be able to buy the things I want, and I want so many things, and getting in that frantic mindset. Taking a step back and writing down in your journal, in your Notes app, whatever it is that you do to reflect and really think, why am I doing this? Am I saving for an awesome vacation? Am I trying to get out of debt? Am I just not wanting to spend so much of my mental capacity and time that I have on this beautiful earth to be able to be building online carts? That's one of my big things, is I just don't want to spend my waking hours that aren't at work shopping for stuff. And it's such an easy thing to do because it's quick, cheap dopamine. And anyways, that's my why. And also, of course, to save money. Connecting back to that makes it easier to remember when you're in the impulse of like really just wanting to buy another candle because it smells nice and you want a little treat and you're out and, oh, it's only X number of dollars, you know, it's only 20 bucks, like da 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 da, and then you just like buy the candle. Versus really, again, tracking your budget and seeing where your money's going, setting a budget for yourself, but then also remembering your why. Like, oh yeah, like this isn't how I want to be spending my time, or I'm saving for this really exciting vacation that like, it's going to be way better to be on my vacation and like eating out than buying this candle right now. So staying connected to your why is really important, and taking some time to write it down so you can remind yourself of it when you're in like the reptilian brain like flurry of just wanting the thing. So the next habit has been really helpful for me because I love clothes. I love clothes. I love high-end skincare and hair care, and I love I just love beautiful things. I think when I have that need, or I see something online, like a sweater, let's say, I see this sweater online, it looks so cool, it's in a color I don't have, or whatever it is, what I do is I go and I shop my closet. And again, it's getting up, getting away from the device, especially online, like when you're at home. This is where this tip can really come into play. And I go into my closet and I look at all the sweaters I have. I look at all the colors, the textures, you know, the thicknesses. Are they cropped? Are they buttons? What are they? And I touch them and I look at them and I remind myself how many sweaters I already have. And then I'll start to look one click down and I'll be like, what haven't I really worn this winter yet? Which ones have I not really worn that much? And then I'll pull those to the front and maybe put them on top of my dresser, or I'll remind myself of them, touch them, and next day it's cold, I'm gonna wear that sweater because like I have it. And it really does trick your mind because it's new. You know, so many of us have closets that are very full, and I know that speaking about clothes is personal to me, but maybe for you it's books, maybe it's video games, whatever it is. Like, go and look at your current collection. If it's jewelry, what are the pieces that maybe you haven't been wearing? Can you pull those out? Can you put them on your bathroom counter or your bedside table, and the next couple weeks wear those and feed that part of your brain that wants new things, and like kind of trick yourself by shopping your own closet or shopping your own stash of whatever the hobby, the thing, the shoes that it is for you. It's been super helpful for me. The next tip I have for you is to think through the purchase all the way through. This is something through like sustainability. Often we think about a circular economy. That's what I studied in college. And there you think of the product end to end, from the point of, well, in sustainability, from like the manufacturing to when it's no longer being used. But in my own life, when I think about purchases and I'm trying, again, to curb my shopping habits, or seeing that thing, and that, again, that part of my brain lights up and is like, yes, let's get it. It's new. It's exciting. Like, you know, that dopamine hit goes, your little magpie brain is like, yes, we want the new shiny thing. I really take a moment and think through end to end of that product. I think through, what is the material it's actually made out of? Is it made out of like a high quality cotton or linen, or a fabric that's really gonna hold up? Things always look, especially fast fashion, things always look like, you know, they're pretty pristine when they're brand new. But when you think about actually washing them, are you gonna line dry it, put it in the dryer? What's it gonna look like when it comes out? Are you gonna have to iron the, you know, the sleeves? How many times over the summer are you actually gonna wear it? And come next summer, do you think it's still gonna be something that you're gonna wanna wear? And then I even think, well, then if it's not, then what am I gonna do with it? Am I gonna try to sell it on Poshmark? Am I gonna donate it? And am I gonna try to see if a friend wants it? All of that is more work that our stuff takes from us. So if it's books for you, it's thinking through that. I'll think through this when I'm at a thrift store, you know, like Sometimes finding things, you know, being more in a mid-sized body, like finding things in my size, I get really excited about, but it's like, wait, does this actually work with my closet? What's the material it's going to look like? Obviously at a thrift store, it's most likely already been washed a few times. Like, how is it holding up? Is it peeling anywhere? Really thinking through all the work that that item is going to take. And when you think through that whole process, like, oftentimes it's enough to be like, no, I don't want it, right? Like, you want it in that pristine, picture perfect form, but we've all bought enough things over time to realize that it doesn't stay that way. You know, like home decor, the pillow doesn't always look that crisp and white and perfect for you. Really think through bringing it into your home, using it. How many times are you going to use it? What is it going to look like after it's been washed, or the spine bent on it, or the pillow being, you know, smashed over and over? And then, like, in a year from now, are you still going to? And then if you don't, all the work that it's going to take to move it out. And then is that aligned with your larger why of wanting to shop with more intention, or be more sustainable, or spending your money in a way that's, you know, really helping you get to your goals of maybe going again on vacation. I love to talk about Italy. So it's like going on vacation in Italy, like having that dress, wearing it 2, maybe 3 times this summer. Next summer, am I still going to want to wear it? Or could I put that $40 towards an Italian vacation? These are the things that really help. You have to break the staring at the screen or looking online and really think it through. So think through your purchase end to end, and I think it will help you with making a more, like a less mindless and a more conscious decision of your purchase. My next tip for you on this channel, I love to talk about books. I love to talk about reading. Reading is one of the ways that I started last summer to really break a lot of my scrolling habits, not just mindless shopping, but just the scrolling habits of social media. And so I've really gotten into books. But do not sleep on your library, the Libby app, Hoopla app. These are apps that, like, you have to have your library card. So, like, go to your library if you haven't. It's a beautiful community resource. Sometimes they even have, like, park passes you can rent for free, or community events. The library is an incredible resource that we have in our communities, especially in the US. Like, most now have apps, so you can put books on hold. You can search what they have before you even get there. Or sometimes I like to go to the library with a cup of coffee and treat it like a Barnes and Noble, but it's free. So I just like shop around the different sections, maybe get a cookbook or a design book, a novel or two, and then check them out. But it feeds that part of my brain of like shopping. Actually, since I really got into reading a lot more books since the summer, you know, like those would rack up. I used to read like maybe a book a month, and now I'm reading like 4 or so books a month. And I know, like, on BookTube world, that's not that many, but for me it is. And if I think through my budget, my low buy budget, it's gonna go pretty fast if like every book is around, you know, $15 to $25, like, or more. It's gonna go pretty fast. So I choose to use my library and use the Libby app. I use the Libby app a ton. Hoopla, I don't have that, but I know friends that their library cards get them access to Hoopla. So check out those apps. Go to your library. Don't sleep on it. It will help you save so much money, especially if you go through a lot of books. All right, my last 2 tips for you are, they kind of go hand in hand. You gotta wait on your shopping cart. Set yourself your personal like time, what feels best for you. For me, it's 3 days. So I wait 3 days before I go back to my shopping cart and see if I really want to use it. If I really want, again, I go to my tracking app, I go to my notes app, how much budget do I have left? Do I actually want to spend that amount on these things if I only have this much of my budget left? So it's kind of, they all start to feed each other and support each other, all of these habits, so that I can be successful in my low buy year and shopping with more intention. So maybe for you, it's only 24 hours. Maybe you just need to like cool the pulse, like check on it tomorrow. Think about it. Build your cart 2 days, 3 days, a week, whatever it is for you. I really recommend setting a time limit to go back. And what this is all about, it's just breaking that dopamine hit, because the dopamine is the driving motivator of purchasing. That's what it wants. It doesn't necessarily want the thing. It wants you to do the act, to click on the thing. That's when you get the dopamine rush from, you know, buying the jewelry, buying the video game, the book, the piece of clothing, whatever it is for you. It's in the act of doing the clicking and the purchase that you're getting the rush. It's not necessarily when it arrives. So once you've set the time that you're gonna let your items sit in your shopping cart, that's the perfect time to do some of these other habits that we've been talking about. Go and shop your closet, or shop your stash for, you know, the books or the video games or the clothing items or the jewelry, whatever it is. Go and look and see what you actually have. What do you have in your home? What haven't you been using? Go use that tip while you're letting your shopping cart cool off. Think about the thing. Think about the item that you're trying to buy end to end, from receiving it to using it. How often are you going to use it? What are you going to do with it next year? Are you still going to be using it? Is it high quality that it's going to last for multiple years? If it isn't, how are you going to dispose of it or donate it? And all of that extra work, finding a space for it to be stored in your house. What is it going to look like once you've used it multiple times? Think through the end to end. And then also check on your budget. You know, if you're doing a low buy year like me, or if you're tracking your spending, like, see if you actually have money for it. And if you do you want to use, like, my budget is pretty small for my low buy year. So it's like, do I want to use my small amount of my budget that I have on that thing? Those are the habits and the tasks that I move through while I'm letting my shopping cart cool off. I know for a lot of people, I've heard them say that building shopping carts helps them get that like shopping high, and they just don't check out. You know, they'll build a Sephora shopping cart or an Amazon shopping cart and then just not hit purchase. For me, because I have my larger why of wanting to take back my time from scrolling and mindless shopping, that doesn't connect with my why. So like, I don't build shopping carts just for like the fun of it, to like get the dopamine rush, because that doesn't support my larger why. It does, I guess, support like the why of like spending less money and saving more money, but my larger why of taking back my time and doing things that I actually want to do, like spend time outside or whatever it is, reading books, it doesn't support that. So I don't do that, but I've definitely, maybe that's something that would support your larger why. So while your shopping cart is cooling off, while you're letting that part of your brain chill out, think through some of these other habits and move through those, and then go back to your shopping cart in a day, 2 days, 3 days, a week, whatever it is for you, and see if you still want to buy the thing. And then the last tip I have that is so important, and don't overlook it, is celebrate your wins. You know, like if you go back to that cart and you decide that you actually don't want to buy that thing because you pulled some sweaters forward that you're going to wear over the next few weeks, and those feel new and intriguing because you haven't worn them in a while, or you decided it wasn't high quality enough and you didn't want to like deal with it in a year from now when it's looking all ragged and worn. Like, celebrate that. Celebrate your wins along the way. This is like hard work, retraining our brains, and we have to find ways to like pat ourselves on the back, acknowledge when we're doing well, because there's going to be times that we slip up, and you know, we're all super good at beating ourselves up, but like we're not always good at celebrating our wins. And when we celebrate our wins, like we build more trust with ourselves. So when we say we're going to do something, we actually follow through, and a part of our brain like starts to trust ourselves, which is like such a beautiful thing to build that relationship with yourself in small habits throughout your life, from like curbing your shopping habits to working out when you say you're going to, or, you know, showing up for your friends and family in the way that you say you're going to. Whatever it is, just like building that personal trust with yourself is so important. So don't forget to celebrate your wins. Really, really important on a journey when you're retraining habits that maybe you've been having for years that you're trying to curb. Please let me know down in the comments below if you are on a low buy year, or if you're working on ways of curbing your shopping habits or trying to shop with more intention. I know it's something that a lot of people are working at. I hope these tips were helpful for you and that you'll put some of them into action. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Check out my other low buy videos in the description down below, or you can follow me over at Simply Allison to see little tidbits of my daily life living here in Joshua Tree and being on this low buy journey. And I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone.